Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic called pointers in C and C++. I'm creating this video because many of you have asked me to create a video on this topic. Not only that, many people, especially students, even software developers, got troubled by this topic quite a lot. If you have worked on C++ around 10 years back, I'm damn sure that you are also troubled by this topic. So I thought of creating a video to tell you the concepts of pointer without writing any code so that you can understand it once and for all. And I do believe that if you listen to me till the end, the concept of pointers will be extremely clear to all of you. So let's go ahead and start, and I will also request you to let me know in the comment section after watching this video whether I was successful in explaining you the concepts of pointers in the easiest possible way. Okay, so let's start talking about pointers. When we talk about pointers, we see something like this, right? Char star, int star, float star, struct abc star or struct linked list star, you know. So this is the normal way pointers looks like. Okay. Now before going ahead and learning about pointers, first unlearn everything whatever you know about pointers. Okay. First unlearn everything before going ahead. So whenever you see a pointer variable in C or C++, they are just integers in disguise. Yes. Consider all pointer variables as numbers. Okay, we can very well represent them in int or long. Okay, they are non-decimal numbers. This is the first thing you must remember always. I know you might be getting some questions, but hang on with me till the end. Okay, you will get all the answers of all the questions that might be coming to your mind right now. First thing in learning pointers in C and C++, whether you are seeing a char star or int star or float star or any star, it's a number. First consider that as a number. All pointer variables are numbers. Now to explain this properly, let me take an example of array. In here I have created one array, int array with 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So how can I access 300? This is the way I can access 300, right? ARR 2. Okay. What is 2? What is the number 2 represent? 2 points to a memory location or 2 points to a location in array, right? Which gives me 300. So 2 is a pointer. I know you might be getting some more question, but please hang on with me. This is worth your time. Okay. Till now it's clear, right? I told you to unlearn everything. First thing, pointers are numbers. And now I am giving you an example of an array where I want to access the third element of the array. And how can I access? I will say ARR2, right? 2 is a pointer because this is the location from where I want to access array element. Now let me go ahead and create a character array. Okay, in here I have created a character array with A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so now if I want to access again C, the third element, what will I do? ARR2 again. Now, did you notice whether it was an integer array or character array, we used ARR2. Okay, we didn't change the numbers, right? We still access it via number, which means that no matter what is the type of your array, if you want to access a particular element or particular location, you need to use numbers. So pointers are always numbers. Remember the term pointer comes from point. So pointer always points to. The literal meaning, pointer points to, and whosoever points to can only and only be a number. Okay, I have proved this to you using the array. Okay, if it is clear till now, let me tell you one more thing. Whenever we run our code, whenever our code is executed, it executes where? It executes in memory. What is a memory? Memory can be considered as a very big array, 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. It's an array. We can consider it as a single dimension array or multi-dimension array based on the way we want to represent it. Okay, so memories are just like array, And to access anything in the memory, we need a pointer which points to a particular location, just like ARR2. For example, let's assume that this is the memory, and you can see that memory cells are equally divided. Whenever you create an array, so if you create an integer array, each element size will be 4 bytes. Character array, each element size will be 1 byte. Double array, each element size will be 8 byte. User defined type array, each element size will be depending upon your user defined type. But each element size of the array will be same. Similarly, each cell of the memory is of same size. 4 KB, 4 MB, anything you can think of, but all of them are of same size. And right now I am representing them as two-dimensional array where there are rows and columns. Okay, so in this case there are 2 rows and 6 columns. Okay, and if we want to access a particular location, we will have to say this row, this column. So this particular cell is accessed by 1, 2. This is also a number, right? You might be thinking that comma is not a number. So I am writing 1, 2 to explain it to you that everything is a number. So 1, 2 is also a number, a particular location in memory. It's always in number. Okay, you can't use anything else to represent a location in memory. So let's go ahead and talk about C or C++ pointer variables. They store numbers, no matter which type. And those numbers represents a location in memory. And I know you might be thinking about this question, like if everything is number, why I need to create char star, int star, float star? I can very well create int star or long star for all the pointer variables. It's a valid question, and this must be asked because there is a reason why the language designers came up with pointer types. The reason is they wanted to let you know that if you are using a pointer variable, what kind of data is stored in that location. And believe me, I can tell you with full confidence that the language designers did this for our own benefit, for the benefit of programmers. You know, assume that there was no type for pointers because all the pointers are number. So when we write our code, we don't know when we are accessing a memory whether it is int, char, float, and then we will end up writing hell lot of if condition, and then we say that this bug came because I thought this memory location will be integer, turned out to be character, so on and so forth. So this was done by language designers for the benefit of software developers to tell you that pointer is a number, but if you provide a type, it will tell you, the programmers, that what type of data you can expect from that memory location. Okay, so that was the reason this is created. So in this particular memory cell, 100 is a pointer, number is 1, 3. Int type means it has int. Similarly, char pointer type means it is having a char. Float pointer type means it is having a floating point value. But actual value of the variable will always be number. In this case also, these are numbers. Okay friends, so let's talk about a simple example. This is a very simple example. You can just write it anywhere. And if you print the pointer variable, you will get the number. And if you put star before that, you will get the value. The concept of star is interesting. We will see that what is the meaning of star in a moment. But at this moment of time, if you just take a variable, no matter whatever type it is a number, plain integer number. That's all. Maybe represented in decimal or hexadecimal, but it's a number. Okay. And I have to typecast over here because while printing, if the type is char, compiler treat it as a character type. That's the reason I have to typecast it over here. Now before I go ahead and explain you the concept of star, let me tell you something very interesting. Let me talk a little bit about function pointers because this is also something that troubles all kind of programmers. What is function pointer? So when you run your function, where the function runs, where does it come from? Where does it execute? It's executed in CPU, but where does it comes from? Where it is loaded? it is also coming from the memory, it is also stored in the memory, and anything that is stored in the memory can be represented by pointers, even if that means it is a function. Okay, so if this is the memory cell, in here I have created a function and I have spread it through 3 cells because functions tends to be bigger. But if you create a function pointer, it will give you 0 to the starting location of that particular function. So here is how you write function pointer. If you have a function which takes a parameter int like this is how you create function pointers, right? Okay, but in C++11 onwards, we do not use these kind of function pointer syntax. See my other videos on this topic to understand how we create function pointers. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about function pointer because when you talk about pointer, function pointer is also a number. If you print this fp int also, it is a number, but it points to a function, and this is where we will get to know that this is pointing to a function, not to a particular variable, and that's the precise reason language designers forces us to use the type in pointers. I hope you understand now. Now let's go ahead and understand the concept of star, and before understanding that we need to understand something called pointers to pointers. So pointers itself was confusing and pointers to pointers was, more confusing, but I am trying to make those confusions go away. So here is pointer to pointer example, very simple example. Character variable contains a, char star ptr1 var contains var, char star star ptr2 var contains ptr1 var. Okay, so what is the meaning of star over here? Okay, you can see even 3-4 star, okay, depending upon the programmers. So star means number of memory hops to take before getting the value, which means that number of cells you need to traverse to get the value. Double star means you will have to traverse 2 cells to get the value. Let's see it in memory. So if I want to use ptr2 var, it says star star, means I need to travel to 2 hops. First hop will take me to ptr1 var, second hop will take me to a. Okay, this is the only meaning of star. 1 star means if you get to the cell, first cell itself, you will get the value. 2 star means 2 cells you will get the value. We can do something like this also. Okay, I don't know what is the limit. I myself stopped after 6-7 stars because beyond that to me felt stupid. I don't know what is the exact limit on number of stars. I don't think there is any limit. So this is the meaning of star, number of hops. Whenever you see more than 1 star, number of hops. So in here ptr5 var, number of hops means you have to go into 5 cells to get the value. Okay, and you will get the value always in the last cell. For example, in here ptr5 var will take you to 4, 4 will take you to 3, 3 will take you to 1, 1 will take you to value. Okay, so always remember star means number of hops or number of memory cells to access to get the value. Okay, now since we understood basics of pointer, let's talk about something extremely interesting, void star. Now there is a difference between C and C++ over here. In C++, because of the presence of templates as well as STL, I'm damn sure that 99% of the time you do not need void star. But in C, you need void star. You need void star to create generic programming. Okay, you want to write generic code. See this example. Okay, in here I have created char int float. I can take everything in void star. So void star is there, again it's a number, right? But it's saying that I can take any type. It can take these, it can even take function pointer. So if you want to create generic programming or kind of meta programming which is provided by C++, you can use void star. A very simple example will be in C++ using template we can create a sum function, right? So whenever whatever function is called based on whatever type, it will be created, like float will be created, int will be created. Same thing if you want to do in C, you will have to use void star. If you use void star, you can pass any pointers in it and it will do sum to the values and return you back. Of course, there are many other things, but in C, even today, people have to use void star if they want to create generics or so-called generic programming. So that's all for pointers in C and C++, friends. I hope and believe that I was able to clear the concepts for most of you regarding pointers in C and C++. And after this, if you are going to see any pointer code, it is not going to be as difficult as it was earlier. Thanks a lot, people. Thanks for watching. Till the next time we meet. Good day, goodbye. You take care.